Welcome to Fan Stream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it's so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Well, hard to say happy hump day. We'll just say good morning. Welcome into the JP Peterson Show. We thank you guys for joining us. We're brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. It's obviously with a very heavy heart that we come to do the show this morning after the happenings in Uvalde, Texas yesterday near San Antonio, near where my brother and his family live in San Antonio, where at last count 19 children were murdered senselessly, and all too often occurrence in this country. And we're going to do sports today as we normally do because that's our job. That's what we do. Chris Torello is going to join us at 10:15 this morning. He's leaving the sports world to, I believe, go to Habitat for Humanity. I read that right on his Twitter, and moving into the private sector, as we like to say. And it's certainly a loss for local television, no doubt about that. Certainly a loss for local sports, and we'll chat with him about his future endeavors and see what's up to him. Hopefully he'll still bring his great, entertaining, and thoughtful interviews to our podcast, if he's allowed to do so. Not exactly sure what will be happening in his new world, but we certainly will miss him on the local reporting scene. He's been a real treasure doing the lot of stories that a lot of folks don't cover. And brings a great humanity to his reporting. I've always said that about Chris. Something that's certainly missing in local journalism a lot lately. We got a lot of great reporters here, no doubt about it. But a lot of them aren't given the time and the resources like they're given at Spectrum Sports 360 to do local sports. So we could be doing a lot better. And honestly, losing someone like him in this local sphere does not help the process. He's going to be missed tremendously. Not to say, again, that there aren't a lot of great folks doing that in this business. We just need a lot more of them. And it's tough when we lose one like Chris. So we'll chat with Chris at 10:15 about his future endeavors. And we'll also hit the Rays as well. Big win last night, 4-0. And we'll get into the night that KK had, Shane McClanahan, and all that. We'll talk some Bucs as they do some more OTAs today. Saw Tom Brady and Gronk yesterday playing baseball, so we'll hit that a little bit. Lots of stuff to get into today, and we'll do that in good time as we move through the show here. I wanted to take a few minutes this morning. I when these things happen, I really battle, trying to decide whether we talk about it on a sports show or we don't. And I just kind of go with my gut feeling most of the time. And that's what I'll do today. And I'm trying like hell to not be political about it, although everything seems to be politicized these days, unfortunately. And I think, it's what I kind of put on Twitter yesterday. It's the politicization of these things when the body count is not even in that just turns my stomach. I know people are passionate about it. They should be passionate about it. Absolutely. People should be pissed. I'm pissed. I go through many levels of grief when these things happen. This one, I don't know why. In the one last week in Buffalo, it just, when you start looking at the faces of these innocent people, I mean, the ones in Buffalo, I tweeted out some of the profiles that the local people were putting out there, and you're reading about, these wonderful grandmothers, who've been looking after children, for decades, that are just in there shopping and their lives are taken. A wonderful neighborhood cop who's, devoted his life to keeping people safe, is gunned down, in horrible, despicable racial violence. I mean, just disgusting on every level. And then this particular incident where you have, Orlando Davis from Wild 94, good friend, just put on Instagram all the faces of the victims of these fourth graders, man. It's just absolutely just heartbreaking, because if you're a parent, you see your children's face in those faces. It's impossible not to. It's impossible not to. And you weep for the parents, watching interviews of, with a dad that didn't even know where his daughter was. Well, couldn't. And I'm like, well, where could she be? She was in the classroom. I mean, he knew, everybody knew what was wrong, and they couldn't. And I'm thinking, my first feeling is, how do you not know? How do the police not know? Well, they knew, couldn't identify him. I mean, I think about that. They needed DNA evidence to identify these children who they knew were in the class. That's how disfigured they were. You don't want to think about that, but think about that. And it just the rush to judgment, the rush to point fingers, the rush to promote agendas just is sickening to me. It's absolutely sickening to me, because the bottom line is, we've been doing this for how long? And we jump out there with all these, whatever side you're on. And I guess, which is crazy, there has to be a side in this. Aren't we all on the side of let's stop this? Can we all be on one side here? Let's all be on the side of let's stop this. Now, how about that side? And put this emotional energy into, some type of concrete action. And, I hear so much of the talk is about this bill and that bill and this bill and that bill. I mean, universal background checks. Yeah, of course. Should an 18-year-old who's clearly mentally disturbed have access to guns like this? Hell effing no. Hell no. Can we all agree on that? But the problem is, how do you do that? How do you do that without restricting other needed rights? I mean, clearly in this society we're living in right now, there's been more violence and crime in the past 2 years than it's exploded. I mean, are we going to tell people and men you can't defend your families? We're taking your guns away. And in saying that, should people have access to assault rifles? I don't know the answers. I honestly don't. I know this. I don't trust my government one iota, not one bit. After what I've seen over the past couple of years, they don't give a shit about you or me. That's absolutely apparent. So I don't trust the government whatsoever. And when, I'm sorry, and I consider myself a very staunch independent. I don't consider myself. I think I'm very middle of the road, and I think every decent human being wants to see this to stop. But to continue to divide this nation at every chance that you get, which is what I see this president doing, and the past president wasn't much of a uniter either. And I don't even want to get into all that, because you just say the word Trump and everybody loses their freaking mind, and you can't even have a conversation. Same thing with Biden. I can tell you this: ain't no damn leadership in this country, no good leadership anywhere. I can't find. Well, I shouldn't say anywhere. I think there are some fine people that are trying to make a difference, but the vast majority of these politicians are corrupt as hell, and I don't trust them one iota. And the only thing I can sit here and say, in listening to parents, and these are about the only people that I listen to these days when it comes to these things, is the parents of these victims, the people that are most affected, the people that have been through it and have studied it and understand the laws much better than I do. And what I hear these parents consistently saying is, protect the damn schools. Why are there not 2 armed, trained officers in every school in America at this point? At least 2. At least 2. How can we protect our airports and our federal buildings and everything else, but leave our schools wide open? Soft targets. Someone explain that to me. And if people say, well, we don't have the money to do it, we just passed a bill for $110 billion, I believe, in COVID relief for schools that's not even being used. Not even being used. I mean, can we all just agree that that's the first thing that needs to be done? And ask the question, and this was talked about after Parkland, why the hell has it not been done already? I know in some states it has. And again, I'm not up on every law, but I believe in Florida we've made a concerted effort to put armed guards in schools. I know this. My kids went to private school, and I'll tell you this right away. Private schools take security seriously. Why can't public schools? Answer that question. Private schools, where my kids went to school, there was at least one armed guard in a very small school, by the way. There was one point of entry. They took it seriously. And I can tell you this, if there was anyone with any ill intent that came upon our campus, and I know the people that were in charge of the security, they would not be around for very long. And I had supreme confidence in that because I know the men that were carrying. And they were trained, they were brave, they were courageous, and they had the kids' best interest at heart. And they were constantly vigilant about watching the security of those kids. That happens at private schools. Why does it not happen at public schools? Somebody's got to answer that question. So, again, I'm not getting into the politics of all this. I think, and there's nothing political about what I just said. That's the beginning, and that should have been done long ago. This particular school, as far as I've seen in the reporting, had no resource officer, had no clear single point of entry emphasis whatsoever. And this is a place that's, I think, I mean, in an area not far from the border where there are hundreds of thousands of people streaming across, many of them that belong to violent cartels. And this school is just sitting there out in the open with zero protection. I mean, it's heartbreaking. It's just absolutely heartbreaking. And you saw when law enforcement did arrive, finally, something was done. And God bless the heroes, the border agents, and the local officials that engaged the shooter and did what they had to do. And it just saddens me so much that we have to see this again. And again, I don't have all the answers. But I know that's a basic thing that we can do, and it needs to be done immediately. And then the rest of it can be debated, and we can hopefully move forward to. And let me just say this in closing on this part of it. Laws are great, and these things are great. But what really needs to be affected is the psyche of this country. The culture that we have created of hate is despicable. And the media is knee-deep in this. The corrupt media is knee-deep in this, constantly dividing us as a nation with bullshit. And I pointed it out at so many levels, and it needs to stop. Athletes are involved in this. ESPN is involved in this deeply. It's corrupt as hell, and it needs to stop. And that's creating a lot of hate in this country, unneeded division in this country, and the people who are doing it know exactly what they're fucking doing. And it needs to stop. We need to start concentrating on unity, bringing people together, bringing races together, bringing classes together, and stop concentrating on dividing, labeling everyone. We are in this, for God's sakes, LeBron James' kid is getting shit for going to a prom with a white girl. Shouldn't it be applauded? But instead it's not. I mean, just division after it never stops. We need unity. We need to bring people together, not divide people. And the hate and again, we don't know everything about this shooter, but I've seen reports that he was bullied in certain ways. And it just, there's so many things that need to be addressed. But more than anything, we got to get rid of the hate, start concentrating on unity and love. And I'm all for, standing up for your message and be an advocate for what you feel is right. But first and foremost, we have to do it in a polite way. And we have to do it in a respectful way and put love and unity before anything. And that's where it needs to start. That's where it needs to start more than anything, in my opinion. All right, we're done with that. Nick Geddes joining me here from Outkick.com. I know you've been writing about this on your website before we get to Chris Torello. Is there anything you want to add to this? You don't have to.
I mean, I tell you, I had a hard time trying to watch sports last night.
I couldn't do it
and get my mind off of it.
Couldn't do it. I mean, I did watch the hockey game. The hockey game was insane. It's the only thing that could take my attention away.
I will say this is that I'm trying to figure out how 17 and 18-year-old kids have this much hate built up.
And just lack of humanity.
I really am. I don't know what has to go wrong in someone's life to like take them to that point, and it's hard to like just go through Twitter and see. Like I saw a thread today, and it had all the faces of the kids that are no longer with us, and
heartbreaking, man. Parents
and sisters and brothers having to send out, their closing remarks like that, and it's it gets me emotional. It's deep. It's really deep, and the last week of school too. The last week
2
of
days.
school.
2 days they were out.
2 days. Yeah, it's hard to. I know everybody says it's not hard. It's not hard to comprehend because this is America and things like this happen way too often.
No.
But in my opinion, every time it happens, it is hard to comprehend. It still is for me. I was a little young for the first Sandy Hook one, so I couldn't process that. But I fully processed this one, and I just think as a country we're failing in so many areas. And we talk about this as the greatest country in the world, but I think right now we're failing across the board.
Not anymore. Not even close. All right, we'll take a break. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. It's so true. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll chat with Chris Torello, formerly of Spectrum Bay News 9, Sports 360. We'll chat with him about his new endeavors, and, of course, we'll talk sports. And I'm sure he has some thoughts on this as well. Stay with us. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys.
Forward. But in the end, I brought up
to go. Calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape. PalermoPA.com.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. You can reach him at palermopa.com. If you have any issues with your construction, residential or commercial, he's a great real estate lawyer. Does a lot of different things. Go to the website at palermopa.com. Check it out. Get in contact with him right there. Tell him JP sent you. All right, want to bring in our good friend from Spectrum Sports 360, but not for much longer. The great Chris Torello joins us now. And Chris, I guess you're leaving the local sports reporting world. And as I said in my open, we need more Chris Torellos. You will be sorely missed. How you doing, partner? And congratulations on the new gig, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, no, this has been something that's been in the works since April 20th. This was not, this was not something that just kind of came together over the last few weeks. And, I feel bad because I've seen a lot of people between that date and, these last few days where everything's kind of become out in the open and more clear. And I know I've been on with you guys at the time, spoken to a lot of sports information people and team reps and players and coaches. And, there's been a lot of conversations about, the summer and the fall. And I've just sat there and just said, yeah, sounds great. And, so my apologies if anyone feels a little deceived.
That's the way it goes, buddy.
It's all it's the way it goes, right? You could be sitting there talking to the Lightning about something and then they'll report and they'll tweet out something 5 minutes later. So it's just something like that. But yeah, no, it's been fun and onward, and that's the way this goes. You're here one day, gone the next. So that's kind of how I'm treating it. I'm not as emotional as I thought I would be. So
well, what tell us about the new gig first of all before I ask you about some other stuff.
Yeah, well, the new gig, they actually tweeted out that I was coming yesterday, so I was a little taken aback. I'm like, I didn't get that when I came here, so that was kind of nice.
Nice,
But no, Habitat for Humanity. It's the Pinellas, West Pasco counties affiliate, so I'm not going anywhere. I don't have to move. I don't have to go any. I'm just moving to a different office. So Habitat for Humanity, its main goal is to really provide that American dream for so many people who never thought they could, which is have an affordable house. And, fixed rates, basically, and it's not just, you fit the criteria because you don't make a certain salary. Well, here's a house. That's not how it works. You can't have, I think it's 40 grand, I think, total income for the home. And, these are people, these are families, and, these are single parents that deserve it. And they go through a lot of hours of classroom work on finances and mortgages, and a lot of hours, sweat equity. They go out and they, will help Habitat for Humanity in terms of helping other homes get built and at least understanding the process. So, it's going to be a chance for me to go in as a multimedia manager and just, kind of tell that story. The thing that we do so well at Spectrum Sports 360 is we tell great human interest stories that are for sports.
Yeah.
So all you're doing for me is just saying, okay, it's just not sports now, but I know how to, that's easy. Connecting with people and telling a story it's never been about sports. There's always elements of sports, but it's always been about the people. And I think that's why to me, it's just such an easy transition. And at the end of the day, look, I know, Bay News 9 and all these other places, they make a great difference. They do great journalism and they do that. But I feel like I'm going to a place that without a question will make a difference every day. And they don't need to pump their chest and try and get people to buy in that they do.
Yeah, it's a great point that you make. I mean, if we wake up every day and we are actually making a difference and making this a better place for other people, that's a life worth living. That's something that's worth living. In the business that we're in, Chris, there are a lot of days where I don't feel that. So,
of course not. No,
it feels very trivial, especially on days like today. It feels very, very trivial to talk about sports. But I do think you make a difference in your reporting. I do think I do at times, but I do think you did make a difference, and that's why I'm sad that you're leaving. I'm not sad. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that you're leaving because we need more people like you and more reporters like you that have a passion for local sports to tell these personal stories that mean more than just sports. They're inspiring. They make people want to be better and do better. And it also shows, I think it also gives people a lot of hope and faith too. We hear so much, negative stuff, especially about this younger generation, which is, I think, unfair at times, and I'm guilty as anybody. But you go out and you show these hardworking kids, these kids that are busting their ass, kids that are doing for other people. I mean, you constantly, should do a report on kids that are philanthropic and are going out there and making lives better for other people through the world of sports and their platform. And I don't think we do that enough. I don't think there's enough of that in our media. It seems all of our media is about dividing people and putting on one side or the other, instead of, hopeful, faithful stories like you bring us that bring people together and inspire us. And we need more of that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that, unfortunately, I think when it comes to, the media in terms of, look, like, we can't not cover what happened yesterday.
Right.
And there's really not many ways to look at what happened yesterday. And I mean, if you're upset about that it's being covered a certain way, or that it's probably just because it's on you, not on the actual coverage. And I'm saying the general you, but I think those are the stories you just cover. And, if a national leader speaks, you listen, and, you take it for what it is. But yeah, I think a big thing that I've truly believed, and we've had these discussions through we have a group at Bay News 9 called the Local Fairness and Diversity Group. I've been blessed to be on that. And, we had a really hard discussion a few months ago where, I kind of raised the question to all of my news colleagues who, have to go out every day, general assignment. They cover a child's death. They cover a shooting. They cover all these things. And I said, I feel like it's the national media that brings down the local media, because if you just watch Bay News 9 or one of the other channels, or if you just listen to you or another podcast or radio station, there's not that divide. It's, hey, here's the news. We're going to cover it pretty straight. And, there's a few people that'll think one way or another about the way this story was covered. But for the most part, we're just covering the local counties and the stories and the things that matter, the school boards, the county commissions. And so I think it's those national cable news networks, their divisiveness, that bring down the local news, because it's all trickle down effect. It's all, well, if the media is covering it this way, well, then that's how I'm going to look at my local newspaper or my local radio station or podcast or my local, any whatever TV. And it's like, that's not the case. So I feel like, and same with ESPN. I think a lot of people will tell you ESPN is not what it was 15, 20 years ago.
No.
And, they'll talk about the politics, they'll talk about the viewpoints, and it trickles down to us, where if we give a viewpoint or we come out on a side of something, we're looked at as just as bad. And it's like, no, guys, like, who we are. We've been in this community. So my biggest plea to everyone out there is trust your local people, because we are the community. We live in the community. We truly do go to the same grocery stores. We go to the movies. We go to the same restaurants. We shop in the same stores. It's not to get all Shakespeare, but like, if you prick us, do we not bleed? We're the same as you. So there is none of this, big divide within our communities. And I think if we all approach it that way, and I think most people do, then, we'll be fine. And that's why I think the stories that we do matter. I think it's why, the news people, the reporters, the writers, just look at it from that perspective of how we do things every day. And I think, there won't be as much of a curb from the viewers and the listeners.
Yeah, I'm kind of guilty of that when I say that, the media is trying to divide us. I need to be more specific. It is the national media. It's corporate media. You look at Tampa Bay. I mean, we've had issues. Yes, we've had issues, but not like the national issues, not like other cities, not like we haven't had the riots, the violence that have been in other places. And I think it's because of the culture that we've created here. In our media and within the people here, we just seem to be a little bit more common sense, a little bit more grounded, not as divided. And I think our media's done a pretty good job of keeping it pretty balanced for the most part. I think that's fair to say, right?
Well, yeah, and I mean, I even think back to the summer of 2020 and before we got sports back. I mean, I remember the Unity Walk that KJ Sales and Jeff Scott organized. I was there. And I remember after the unfortunate, because unfortunately there were those moments where, the peaceful walks, the peaceful protests, The simple chanting turned into where, okay, night falls, now people want to act in a different way.
Right.
And I remember the University Mall up there by USF got trashed in fire, and I remember it. And I remember Jordan McLeod, who's now at Arizona, the former Plant kid and Sickles kid.
Yeah.
He led a group of USF students over there, student athletes, and they cleaned it up.
Yeah, how about
and
that?
So yes, there are those little ugly moments. Everyone has them, but then it's the community that comes together and says, look, we understand there's frustration. We understand there's people that are ticked off, but we're going to fix what's wrong here. And I think that's what, like you said, I think Tampa Bay has done a great job. We have our issues. We're going to continue to have them, but I think if you look at the communities here, if you look at the connection between, authorities and everyday citizens, there is not a huge divide, but that doesn't mean we can't improve things. That doesn't mean we can't all push for a better tomorrow. And that's the same in sports. We try to be a voice to the fans, and we try to listen to them, and we try to tell great stories. And we understand sports can only go, look, we understand from March 12th, 2020 till probably July, when there were no sports, we understood, that need for the human connection more than ever, especially to keep telling those stories. And, so I think that was something that really affected me coming out of the heart of the pandemic, at least.
Chris Torello joining us here, Spectrum Sports 360, leaving to become multimedia director at Habitat of Humanity. Is that the right title?
I think I heard you, multimedia manager. Yeah. It's going to be, it'll be fun. I'm excited to get there. I start next week. There's no rest. I like working.
Yeah.
I love earning a paycheck. I love making a difference. And I love when I get up in the morning, shove coffee down my throat, and then go do something with my day. That's always been important to me.
Absolutely. So. Let me ask you this. Do you have a favorite story or two? I remember when I signed off at News Channel 8, there were some stories that I did that I'll never forget that changed me forever. I hate to throw you on the spot with this, but are there any that come to mind?
Well, I kind of had the Tom Brady approach, the next one. Like what's my favorite championship, the next one. Yeah. So, but no, I mean, listen, there's been so many great ones throughout the years. And I think what's so funny is that if you go back and show me a story I did in 2015, I will probably throw it out the window and say, good God, what the hell was wrong with me? Cause but that's what I appreciate about my, the way I think myself and my colleagues, especially at Spectrum, have handled things is we're not satisfied with the way we told the story on Monday. On Friday, we better get better. Like Willie Taggart had a great line at USF. He'd always say, every day you're either getting better or you're getting worse. You never stay the same. Yep. And so I think watching other people's products, seeing how people tell a story, every day I've tried to get better. So I don't know if I can say, hey, this one is the best one but I think the most recent one I did was I think I was telling you guys about it. Andrea Smith, Lakeland police officer, played a game of one-on-one with this kid. Yeah. We did a ride along with her. We shot hoops with her in full uniform outside the Lakeland PAL, where she got her start, where a lot of great Polk County kids got their start, like Tiffany Hayes, who went on to play at UConn, and some of these other players that went on to Kentucky and Arkansas. So that story, I put it together. We did the ride along. We went up to talk to Jose Fernandez. We found old Bright House Sports Network footage, games we shot of her back before I even got here. Yeah. And put it all together. And my manager, Chris McCulley, came over to me and we were talking yesterday, and they have so it's a new way we do things, character-driven story. And they grade the story, because if they don't grade it, does it really matter? Yes, it does matter. But, so he told me it's the highest graded story they've done. Nice. And so that means something to me when I know I put a story together well, and, talking to Jose, and, that story to me was my masterpiece, because it was community. Yep. It was USF, and it was bringing different parts of the community together. And, I think it was every level of sports. This was a high school standout who went to USF, who won a national title at JUCO, and then she also happened to get drafted in the WNBA. So that's all three levels that we cover, plus the community, plus my favorite school to cover, USF.
Yeah, and that's it, man. That's what it's all about. And you know, how many kids watch that? Young girls watch that and said, you know what? I could do that. That could be me. I can make a positive impact in society, and through through basketball, and to think about sports, it really does, especially in children's lives. When we look at what happened yesterday, and there's a very, very troubled kid, obviously, that did something that's horrific. And I'm going to tell you this: I don't want to say this emphatically because I'm sure there might be an instance, but I don't remember a mass shooter, a young kid that was involved in sports, that was, really involved in athletics, where they belong to something and they're part of something, and it's a shared experience. Most of these kids are loners, and that's what sports gives you, man. It gives you a place to belong. It gives you a shared sense of society. And I think it's, for kids especially, even if they're not athletic, be part of something. And sports is such a great positive outlook. And that's a story that just teaches you that. It's not, and she learned through athletics how to go to the police academy, how to become somebody, how to work hard, all of these lessons that are taught in sports are so beneficial to our youngsters. And you told that story right there.
Yeah, and look, I think you're right. And sports is a huge thing, but also it doesn't have sport. I get someone like Nicholas Petit-Frere, he went to Berkeley Prep, went to Ohio State, and now he's a Titan, and he's going to be awesome for the Titans as their tackle. And I remember Catherine Smith telling the story about him playing the cello.
Yeah.
And there's always something
musicals.
else you can do. I know Berkeley Prep is kind of the worldly place to go, but I think drama departments, art classes, theater. There's so many music. There's so many releases out there. Join your. I don't know whether you're religious or not. Maybe if you are religious or go to a certain place of worship, maybe join their choir, or join if they sing, or get involved. I was involved with Knights of Columbus back in the day, and I don't I think always feeling like there is something else, that there is a community you belong to in some way or shape or form that are part of what we do, I think can help anybody. And it's, we're not just talking about yesterday, but we're just, I think we've gotten to a point, especially on social media, and especially in terms of the way we look at media in general. And there is a great divide. There is always this push for the next bad thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, there's so much good. Like I was following Tampa Catholic around not long ago before their beautiful new field house was built, because they were nomads. I went with Don DeZagua to a practice at a Sly Middle School. And then that Friday night we were at St. Pete because they were playing St. Pete. And I walk in and I actually got turned around. If you've ever been to the St. Pete High School, it's big and you can get lost.
Yeah.
I actually ended up in the theater department, was having an event that night. And I remember just kind of standing there for a few minutes going, man, like just as many people walking in to watch a basketball game, there's just as many people walking in to watch these hardworking kids, put on a performance. So that's always the cool thing, is there's so much always going on. And, that's why I always love, if I go up to Bryant Stadium in Lakeland, there's guys and gals who have been going to Lakeland Dreadnought football games for 70 years. Because that's what they do on Friday night. Yeah. It's like a little piece of Texas in Polk County. So, that means a lot to me. And biggest thing I think we can say is just be involved, always look for the good, and always try and be positive, because, it's a lot less work on your health and your mindset to be positive than it ever could be to be negative.
Well said, my friend. Do you have any, I hate to say parting shots, because it's not like you're going anywhere. Are you still going to be around, making snarky comments about, the Rays and UCF and Nick and everything? Or, you're not going to stop that, are you?
I will say this. I will, for the first time in a long time, be a fan. I know kind of what your medium and all the years you've spent in radio and podcasting. You've kind of had that medium between, being a reporter, but also being a voice of the fans. So you've kind of had a little bit more leeway than me.
Yeah.
But for the first time, probably since entering college, because I jumped right into radio And I used to have kids at Providence College games come up to me and say, "Hey, do you hate us?" I said, "What are you talking about? I listen to the games in the stands. I listen to you on the app, and you sound like you're a fan of the other team." And I said, No, that just means I'm down the middle.
Yeah,
It
being
means
objective.
I'm calling the game.
Yes.
And I'm sick, and so I'm kind of excited to not be that way anymore.
Okay.
I will be revealing my fanhood at some point over the next
Torello
a
Unleashed.
little bit here.
Torello
We'll
Unleashed.
see. I mean, I've always been a Friar fan. I think everybody knows
Yes,
that.
of
But
course.
and just a reminder, I didn't go to USF, and God knows I certainly didn't go to UCF. So I wanted an education.
Oh,
that was always good. But no, I kid.
Put your mic on, Nick.
I'm sure they do great work. They put all the astronauts into space over there, so they do a great
You're
job.
building a lazy river.
But yeah,
for God's sake.
Yeah, what the hell is that about?
You saw they're spending like
It's
what 40 million or
You
something.
walk into a lawsuit every week. Let's just put maybe when it falls over, people will just fall into the water.
Yeah.
And everyone will be fine.
Yeah.
It worked well for the Titanic.
Splash.
Yeah, everyone will be fine. It's
soft
water.
landing. Yeah. It's a soft landing
when
the stadium falls down.
There's the real Torello I know.
Yeah, you
right
go.
there.
Yeah.
Got him to come out there.
Yeah.
No, I kid. Look, I think UCF is well on its way as an athletic program. You know, the one thing, Nick, that I'll say about UCF, and I said it the other day to one of my friends, is they never think they're going to lose.
Yep.
No matter the sport, no matter the athlete or coach, they don't think they're going to lose. Look at the Michigan softball game the other day. They're down 2-0 most of the game, and I knew they were going to come back because they don't quit.
Yeah.
And I think USF needs to take a page out of that book and just say, we're not quitting. We're not losing this game today, and hopefully brighter days are ahead. This is probably the final War on I-4 chapter this year. And, I hope there's no quit in Jeff Scott and his guys. Hopefully they get if they get the quarterback right, they're good. They are a good team. So hopefully they put it together. But no, I got nothing bad to say about anybody. I mean that. I'm not leaving the business bitter. I'm leaving it with a lot of hope. And I think that's a lot of people get told they're no longer welcome in the building. That is not the case with me. So that means a lot.
That feeling.
I'm just walking out and people are kind of saying, we wish you weren't. So that means a great deal to me.
Well, I had some of that too, but yeah, they told me to leave.
Trust me, dude. You and I have had conversation.
Yes. Thanks. Did a great job. Here's your bonus check. Now get out.
Man, I get you.
Any parting words, Nick, for Mr. Torello? I mean, we're gonna have him on again. Obviously,
I've enjoyed having you on, Chris. I think you're one of my favorite guests to have on because you always bring it. I did play my fiance whenever you did that little rant on me during the tournament, and she thought it was the most hilarious thing ever. And so every time we have you on, I tell her so she can listen, so you can take a shot at me. She really enjoys it. So.
Look, man, I mean, I'm in the same boat you are with a fiance, and trust me, man, people don't, we trust me, for all, I need Twitter and I need this, I've needed this outlet because, you come home every night and trust me, the dog and the fiance look at me and they go, you're nothing special, right? You're just taking up space. So, we need that. We need that push.
Yeah, Mr. Important Pants. Yeah, exactly.
Good luck to you. Good luck with everything, guys. And it's been fun. It's been a pleasure. And, hopefully more great news ahead for Rays fans, USF fans, everybody. And, hopefully there's a Super Bowl this year for fans to enjoy.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing to fans, you're in the golden age of campus sports right now. Go to Al Lang. I've got a story running tomorrow night on the Ralph's Mob. I spent the whole night with them.
I love those people.
It's my final story. It's 5 minutes. And if you don't want to go to Al Lang after watching that story, then you're not going to enjoy anything. I think those are the best fans in the Bay Area, if I'm being honest. They go every Saturday. They get loud. So go try a different sporting event if you haven't. There's so many. If you haven't been to the University of Tampa for a baseball game, go to University of Tampa. If you haven't gone to USF for a softball game, go next year. There's so much to do take it all in.
It's great.
And we're
great
very
advice.
blessed in this area. It's not small market. Don't let anyone in baseball tell you it's small market. Don't let anyone in any part of media tell you this is small market. We're a small group because we all love each other.
Right.
But this is a damn big market.
I got that right. All right, my friend. Happy trails. Don't be a stranger. We'd love to have you on anytime. Just because you're going to Habitat for Humanity doesn't mean you can't come on our show and have fun. Because we'll really get Torello unleashed as a fan. I can't wait. Thanks, partner. God bless you, man.
Hey, Stu Sternberg, sell the race. Sell the race.
Yes.
Thank you all very much.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, 100%. How about Rob Manfred comes into town, meets with the players, doesn't meet with the Rays about the stadium, and doesn't meet with local officials? Are you effing kidding me? That's my next rant.
Well, I love the mic drop there by Mr. Torello.
That was strong.
You heard the click of the phone too?
Yeah, he did.
Of going out?
Say Stu, sell the Rays.
And out.
Out. Yeah. Damn right, man. I'm going to get into that in our next segment, but a huge thank you to Chris Torello and the legacy he leaves of just great community reporting. We're looking forward to the Ralph's Mob. Haven't caught up with them in a while. I went to a game with them. God, it's got to be 10 years ago or something. And things have gotten so much better over there. So the new, stadium and I definitely got to get over there to check out the Rowdies for sure. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get into the Rays last night, a 4-0 shutout. But yeah, there are other things to talk about, and the Trop specifically. It's great to have Juan DeFranco. Will he ever be able to play at the Trop? We'll talk about it next. Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you, and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Italiano Insurance has been serving and working in our community for over 60 years, and it's not just about insuring all the pieces of your life. Italiano is as much a part of Tampa Bay as the Cuban sandwich, Gasparilla, and our Bucs, Lightning, and Rays. They're also active supporters of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance, so do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. Don't call some 1-800 number. Call Italiano and be greeted by one of your neighbors. That's 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Named the Small Business of the Year by the Tampa Chamber. 813-877-7799. Let's go.
Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. In the last 10 years, a lot of the local builders around here have used stucco that is not up to snuff. And it has caused a lot of issues for homes built in the last 10 to 15 years around here. So if you've had issues with cracks in your stucco and you don't know if there's any damage behind there, well, Christopher Palermo is an expert in this field. And if you have any questions, just give him a call. Go to the website, palermopa.com, contact them there, and he'll let you know if you have a lawsuit. It's a free call, so it's not going to cost you anything, and just chat with him, and he'll let you know exactly what the situation is, obviously, because he's an expert in the field. He's recovered millions for his clients, so don't wait until you see your the inside of your drywall starting to peel off or you get black mold. If you see cracks, it's not just regular settling, or it might not be. Find out if you have a case, because we're talking about tens of thousands of dollars this could cost you. So if you're a homeowner and you've seen those cracks, especially on the second floor, get on the phone. Go to palermopa.com, give him a call, and find out if you have a case. All right, so the Rays win last night 4-0. As I tweeted out, what is it about these guys from Miami that come here and they can't score? Strip clubs, no matter what, doesn't matter. You can't. Marlins, Panthers.
Well, remember,
shutout.
We did this to Toronto, right?
Yeah,
we got Toronto, shut out Toronto at the same time we won the series against the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
So the Rays and Lightning are in sync right now.
They really are in sync.
What if the Rangers win the series and maybe you're playing the Yankees?
Oh, wow. Yeah, we get some more synergy right there. So New York, we're coming for you next. We just bitch slapped Miami.
That would feel so great.
Right?
Knock out Toronto, Miami, New York.
I got to feel if we had an NBA team, we'd bitch slap them, the Heat, too. Just thinking.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I can't actually, we shouldn't even say it's Miami, honestly. It's not Miami.
What?
The Panthers. That's not Miami.
South Florida.
That's not Miami. That's Sunrise. That's the Everglades.
South Florida. Same cesspool.
That's all cesspool. All of it.
Yeah. Although I hate to be, I say this in jest. I mean, there's obviously
we're having fun. We're
having fun with it, but no, they just they can't score. And Shane McClanahan was a big part of that last night. 9 Ks, gave up just 4 hits. I tell you what, I cannot remember a game this year where this dude hasn't had spectacular stuff. He's just as good as it gets. 4-2 now, 2.06 ERA, should be 6-0. Leads the league with 74 strikeouts, but more than that, he's pitching like a freaking pro. I love this guy.
Just pounds the strike zone. I mean, that's what I said. The one Achilles heel is he gives up a lot of home runs, but that's because he pounds the strike zone. And last night he gave the Marlins nothing, just dominated them. He's a guy you pencil in now every single start, 6 or 7 innings, maybe 2 runs or less every single outing, 10 strikeouts. My goodness, the Rays know how to scout. And when they made the Blake Snell trade, we all collectively went, the hell is that?
Yeah.
I think they picked the right guy.
Yeah.
To go with.
Yeah. No doubt that he could definitely fill those shoes. But like, it'd be better to have both of them. Just saying. Hey, look, he's just as good as it gets. And he put on a performance last night, no doubt about it. But our boy KK in the leadoff spot now, what is he coming in? He was 6 for 11 in the leadoff spot this weekend with a couple of homers. And then he starts the game off like this. Check this out.
Against Pablo Lopez. And the first pitch, a liner off the bat of Kiermaier, and a diving attempt by Sanchez. Going to go all the way to the wall. He's got a chance to circle him. On his way to third, he's going to get the green light. And the throw to the plate is not in time. First pitch, bottom of the first, Kiermaier, and inside the park home run.
How about that? Jesus Sanchez, I wouldn't dive for that one. It's the first play of the game.
He'll learn.
Yeah,
he'll learn. But what a way to start a game right there.
Yeah, right.
I wasn't even like watching at the second. I was like, I'll tune in like the second inning.
Yeah,
and then I'm getting all these texts about Kevin Kiermaier, and I'm like, what did he do?
Yeah.
No more slander on the JP show from you about Kevin Kiermaier.
From
no more
me?
slander.
You're the KK hater, not me. I'm the KK lover.
Whoa. Have I ever told you that I love when Kevin Kiermaier wears his eye black? Have I ever told you I love that? And I love when he spins his glove in the outfield.
Oh, yeah, when he does the the 2 outs.
The 2 outs. Yeah. I love it. I love Kevin.
The 1
Kiermaier.
out.
I might go find that Kevin Kiermaier shirt from Walmart from 8 years ago.
I don't think there's
Put it back
anybody
on.
that loves it more when he does a fake jump at the wall, or does some flamboyant move when he doesn't have to than you. I think nobody loves him.
It's fantastic.
Which is weird because you're a wrestling fan. He would be a great wrestler. As
Fantastic.
flamboyant as he is.
Better than Gronk. I saw Gronk for 2 months in wrestling.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
Kiermaier, on the other hand.
Yeah. He knows how to play it up.
He knows how to flip and dive.
Mr.
and flop.
Drama.
Mr. Drama.
Mr. Drama. Johnny Drama. Kevy Drama.
So no more slander out of you on here.
No, absolutely not. No, it's always me. But I do like him in a leadoff spot. He tends to go the opposite. I mean, I've been saying this for 10 years. Like, dude, you're the fastest guy on the team. You bat from the left side. Learn how to bunt. Learn how to go the opposite way. Stop trying to be a freaking home run hitter, which he's trying to be. He
leads the Rays in home runs right now.
I know, but that's the worst. Every time he hits a home run, I'll be like, oh God. Because then for the next 10 games, he's swinging for the fences because he's going to do it again.
No,
and he goes into a huge slump. If he just concentrated on doing everything he can to get on base, and was like in that one, he's the best leadoff man we've had in a long time.
Yeah, in reality, he when he gets going, he's a fun player to watch.
Oh my God,
he's a very fun player to watch at the plate, and just the speed that he still has. He's not a young chicken anymore, 31 years old, but he was hustling around there.
Imagine if he could add this to his repertoire and his game. I mean, 12 years into his major league career, he becomes like a legit leadoff guy.
Are we taking bets? Is Kevin Kiermaier going to hit 20 bombs this year? We already got 6. We got 6 through what, 40-something games?
Nah, he ain't hitting 20.
You're gonna hit
I don't
20
want
bombs?
him. I don't want him to hit 20.
He's hitting with decent average though now too.
I know, but if he keeps concentrating on power and pulling the ball, that's when he gets in trouble. When he goes up the middle or goes the opposite way, he's way better. And for God's sakes, in his shift, if you can't lay a damn bunt down, he can walk the first. I mean, come on.
Well, his offense is needed because the offense, I'm not going to say I don't want to put the offense in a box like they're all slumping. I don't think the offense is slumping. The Rays are just going through a lot of injury issues.
Right.
The Wander Franco is very fascinating to me.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit this in the break. What are the Rays doing with him exactly?
I don't know because they are the most cautious organization in baseball. I mean, a guy farts, they put him on the DL for 10 days. And this is their future. And the kid he's got multiple leg issues and they have not put him on the IL. And he's struggling. For God's sakes, what is he, 2 for his last 39?
Last night, I believe.
Hasn't hit a homer in 23 games?
I think he has 1 extra base hit in May, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And I believe last night, I want to say it was the 7th or the 8th inning, the Rays had runners on first and third with 1 out. And as he has continued to do more often lately, he swung at the first pitch and he literally nubbed it back to the pitcher. Do you recall that?
I did, yeah.
He just nubbed it. And I'm just like, ooh. That's just not the Wander Franco you're used to seeing. He's not taking pitches right now, and a lot of ground outs. I think 4 ground outs yesterday for Wander Franco. That tells me he just doesn't have enough power in his legs to get going. I don't know why. If he's just going to be in and out of the lineup every day and it's wait and see, just put him on the IL. I know the Rays are going through injury issues, and I can't really say the Rays need his bat at the moment because he's part of this slump right now.
Well, here's the Topkin wrote the article yesterday. It says Franco has been bothered by issues in both legs, quads and hamstrings for the last month, and said they could be attributed, at least in part, to adjusting to playing regularly on the artificial turf at Tropicana Field. I've told you, Kyle Tucker told us that he has to sit at his freaking locker like for 15, 20 minutes after every game that he plays at the Trop just so his knees, calm down. And how many players have told us how bad it is on their joints? And which it's weird for Franco because he plays mostly on the dirt and obviously runs a base pass on the dirt. But I guess, I don't know, is the dirt bad too? I mean, because there's concrete underneath. I don't know. I don't know the answer to this question. All I know is that players constantly complain about their legs on this turf. So we've invested all this money in Wander Franco. It's one of the reasons I've been bitching for so long about getting a new stadium. It's not just about for the fans. It's for the players too. The players hate this place, man. The Rays score a run more a game on the road than they score at home. It's the lighting in that place is awful for hitters. It's a terrible background. The field itself is terrible on our players. It's probably the reason we have so many injuries. especially leg injuries. I mean, Margot's got a hamstring. He's coming back today, I believe, as is Yandy Diaz. But if Wander Franco can't play on this stuff, what the hell are the Rays going to do? I mean, this is a problem. This is a huge freaking problem. It's going to be the reverse, or it's going to be the Kyrie Irving. Can't play at home. I mean, this is a big deal. And it's interesting that Franco is the one who says, and think about this. If he's admitting this, then, I'm sure the organization did not want that to be public. And I don't know. What are your thoughts?
It's just very odd because like you said, the Rays are the most cautious team in the organization, especially with like pitchers and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just, you gave this guy a 10-year, 11-year, whatever it was contract, has a lot of baseball ahead of him. What's the point of putting him in the lineup every day and at the top in the 2-hole and the 3-hole if he's going to just ground out 4 times a game and really give you nothing? I don't see the use in it on the base pat when he's hitting ground balls. Not like he's like running him out because clearly he can't, or he's been told not to, whichever one it is. He cost you a game in Baltimore, because he didn't slide coming into home plate, and he said he tweaked something around third. It seems like there's always a tweak. There's something on his legs. They're very fragile. I would treat him like a very fragile commodity because of the money that you're set up to pay him in the long run.
Yeah.
To me, he needs to go on the IL. It makes no sense to have him in there. I'd like, and in his absence, give me more of Isak Paredes. Let me see him in the lineup every day because I like what I'm seeing from him. With Kevin Kiermaier playing like he is, even Brett Phillips' bat has come around after we talked to Rich Hollenberg about what was it? What did he call it again? The biometric biomechanics, which is very interesting. His bat's come around all of a sudden since that. I mean, they have guys producing in the lineup right now. Harold Ramirez, for crying out loud, every time he's in the lineup, does something good. He did it last night as well. To me, there's just no sense of having him in there. I don't at the moment.
Yeah, he's got to go on the DL. I don't know. Maybe it's because they got a sold out stadium. It sounds like this weekend against the Yankees.
That's the only thing I think of. They're trying to make it through the series,
and they promoted him so much, with the billboards and everything else. That should never go into any part of your thinking when dealing with your baseball club. I'm not saying it is, but it doesn't make any sense. This goes against everything the Rays have done in terms of protecting young players. They continue to throw this guy out there when he clearly has leg issues, and it obviously has something to do with the turf at Tropicana Field. My God, and I have to go on this rant. Why did Rob Manfred not meet with Stu Sternberg? You have a tremendous stadium issue that's going on right now. It seems like nobody's talking about it. Now, it could be a good sign. It could be a good sign that, they've already decided, look, we're getting it done in Tampa. I know they're working on the roof right now. The Rays are very involved with Populous, their construction company, architecture company that's trying to figure out how, what the roof is going to look like, how it's going to function, how they're going to keep everybody cool. Is it going to be shade? What's it going to be? What that's going to be. Now, if he's still talking to St. Petersburg as he said he is, and there's evidence that that's happening, again, that's complete bullcrap. He shouldn't be doing that. He should be focused on Tampa. And, the fact that Manfred comes into town and doesn't meet with the folks in Tampa and doesn't meet with anybody, doesn't need to meet with anybody in St. Pete. But what is he doing? What are you doing, Rob Manfred? For God's sakes, get involved. Do something. Do something publicly to tell this fan base, we're going to get this done. You come into town, you talk to the players, you don't even talk to Stu Sternberg? Really? I mean, maybe he did. I don't know, but they're reporting that he did not visit with Stu Sternberg about the stadium, and you don't talk to reporters about the stadium? I mean, this is the type of ineffectual leadership that plagues this country and plagues baseball. My God. I mean, do something. Stand up, talk to the press. Let's hash out the issues. Let's hear you talk about Tampa. Let's hear you talk about the future of the Rays. What's going on? Go meet with the folks in Tampa to see what's happening. I mean, that's what real leaders do. They dig in and make shit happen. This guy walks into town, doesn't even meet with the folks in Tampa about this stadium plan. You've said all along that this is, you got to get this stadium thing done before you can expand into other markets. I would think the other owners would certainly like you to be somewhat of a leader in this process. Why is that? Because Stu's getting sued by his partners. You want to wait to see how that turns out? I mean, come on. First of all, I don't believe he didn't talk to Stu. He should be in there talking to him, find out what the hell's going on. I mean, and I had some fans yesterday on social media talking about this. Fans are frustrated. They want to know some certainty as to the future of this baseball team. And I think that's fair. I think that's fair. And I said this, a month ago. Stu Sternberg needs to come out and say, I'm all in with this community. I'm all in, and we're going to build this stadium in Tampa. I'm going to pay half. And by the way, if you want to get dibs on the new stadium, you need to sign up for some season ticket package. We're going to have a special season ticket package that we're going to open the upper deck. And if you become part of that season ticket package at a lower price, you'll have priority moving forward. Whatever price point you want to jump in, you'll have priority into the new stadium. It builds some freaking positivity with the community. I mean, I think people would jump all over that. I don't think there's any question. Excuse me. But the more you tell us nothing, the more you do nothing. It's frustrating for the fans to get behind this team when everybody's in freaking limbo. And Rob Manfred, what kind of freaking leadership is that? It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side. We'll catch up on what's going on with the Tampa Bay Lightning and the other series. Looks like the Rangers and Canes are going to be going to at least 6-7 games. Can't wait to see them beat each other up. That's good news. So we'll hit that when we come back. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Italiano Insurance has been serving and working in our community for over 60 years, and it's not just about insuring all the pieces of your life. Italiano is as much a part of Tampa Bay as the Cuban sandwich, Gasparilla, and our Bucs, Lightning, and Rays. They're also active supporters of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance, so do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. Don't call some 1-800 number. Call Italiano and be greeted by one of your neighbors. That's 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Named the Small Business of the Year by the Tampa Chamber. 813-877-7799.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. You can find him at palermopa.com. Also brought to you by the Gold and Diamond Source, the great folks over there, Julie and Steve Weintraub, doing a great job always in the community. I'm doing an event that they are a part of, the Hands Across the Bay charity, the Denim and Diamonds show coming up at the Don Cesar in June. I get to MC that baby. That's a high dollar one. And, of course, the Golden Diamond Source, always there to donate a gem, usually a diamond or something, and they raise great money for tremendous charities. So if you're looking for a fun event to go to at the Don Cesar, it's Denim and Diamonds, and you can find out more. Just Google that, and you'll see the whole thing. It's going to be fun. The Golden Diamond Source is always there at these big events, helping to give back to the community. So we give back to them. You know, if you're going to shop for jewelry, don't go to any of these national chain stores. Go to the folks you can trust that have been there for decades. Always have the best selection, the best prices, the best staff. Just a great, great local business. We love doing business with them. We love working with them. They've been with us, supporting us for a long, long time. So if you like what you hear here, please repay them. Go in there and say, hey, JP told us to come in and get something nice for our honey. It's great folks over there. The Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. All right, let's catch you up on what's going on as the Lightning sit back in the hot tub, in the cold tub, enjoy their time off, watch the Rangers and Canes beat the hell out of each other. Last night, the Rangers even things up against the Canes and the Flames and Oilers. What a game that was last night. That was insane, that game. Did you see the goal that Mike Smith gave up from the other blue line? To tie, that was to tie the game, right?
That was to tie the game after they had a 3-0 lead after the first.
Yeah.
And they blew it, which
Calgary comes back.
Yeah.
Makes it 3-3 on that ridiculous goal.
I'm curious. I want to listen to the play-by-play of the Mike Smith goal because I have not heard it because I wasn't watching last night with audio.
Yeah.
I'm curious what this sounds like.
Okay.
Slid far enough that he was able to get it out. That was
Scores from long range, and Calgary's tied it in the most unlikely fashion.
Well, how about that sequence? You've got a glorious save on the power play by Markstrom.
That was a save.
To rob Draisaitl from making this a 2-goal game. McDavid just curling around, buying time. And how about this pad save? Coming across, got his pad out there.
Great
quickly,
save.
The rebound.
Markstrom gave up an easy one.
And then a missed play by Smith and a long shot that Smith unable to
We never saw it. What happened was
play by Anderson. You know, just a hard shot, but you could see the reaction. He never even saw it until it was gone by him.
Yeah. Did that go up in the air?
It went up in the air and it looked like it might have knuckleballed a little bit.
Yeah.
But, bro, it's like 100 feet out.
Yeah, but if you're not looking, like at that particular point, your eyes might be diverted, and then you see a shot, and then you look up into the crowd, you can't find a damn puck. And it's like, oh my God, that's got to be the worst feeling in the world, though. Oh my God.
That is, it just, I guess it's funny because it happened to Mike Smith, and he's already like the most scrutinized goalie in these playoffs. And it's like, it's the Mike Smith experience. It really is. Like the last 2 games, he's like stood on his head for Edmonton. Everybody's like, oh, Mike Smith. And then he does that.
Yeah.
And the second goal he gave up, by the way, wasn't too pretty either.
No.
Or he just kind of, I just let it sneak right through.
Right through.
This is a Mike Smith experience. Listen, I mean, he was around at a time here in the Lightning. I know what the Mike Smith experience is. I have no idea how he's still playing hockey.
41 years old.
At 41 years old. I go back to what Brian Bradley said yesterday. If you put Vasilevsky on this Oilers team, they would never lose a game. They would never lose a game.
It's true. That's true. I mean, McDavid and Draisaitl, just watching them play and watching they're just constantly dangerous. He's something special. I don't know what the of course the Lightning would just outscore them and they'd be frustrated against the Lightning. They would. The Lightning would find a way, like they've done with Barkov and so many, Toronto and Marner and Matthews. These are all great players that have been, when the Lightning really want to, locked down. And last night the Rangers win 4-1 to even their series at 2. So check this out. The Hurricanes have been 2 different playoff teams. This is from ESPN, depending on the location of the game. In Raleigh, they're 6-0. Listen to this. They're 6-0 in Raleigh with a plus 15 goal differential. Their defense has limited opponents to 1.17 goals per game. On the road, they're 0-5 with a minus 13 goal differential and a 4.2 goals against. How is that effing possible? I mean, that's not a small disparity. That's the best team in hockey against the worst team in hockey. Just because you're playing on a different sheet of ice? What? That just tells me that team is dysfunctional. That team is dysfunctional. And I'm not, I don't think, and you look at how the Rangers were, again, dominated in Carolina. I just got to say, if I'm the Lightning, I don't want to be cocky or whatever, but I don't fear either one of these teams for the most part, and especially with the way the Lightning are playing right now, especially if they get Braden Point back.
Well, I don't fear any team. I'd put it like that, but I think Carolina, coming into the playoffs, a lot of people had them as the favorite if you didn't want to go with the President Trophy Panthers. So they do. I thought that series, I know a lot of people have been talking about that series, how they got worked by the Lightning. I felt like the series last year, even though it was 4-1, I thought it was still closer than that.
Yeah, very close.
I mean, very closer than that, to be honest with you. Even in the Florida series, I thought there were stretches where Florida carried the play for most of it, too. And the Lightning got bailed out by Vasilevsky. I think that's a fair assessment in some of that. So I look at that, and Carolina kind of retooled their lineup to get some more beef back there and to take the Lightning on because they've been prepping for it. They changed out their whole entire goalie tandem. Yeah. Literally because of what the Lightning did to them last year, having to go back and forth with Nedeljkovic and Mrazek. And now it's Ronta, I believe, in there because Anderson's hurt. I don't know if Anderson came back yet. I think it's Ronta still in there. But they're a completely different team like that. My goodness. I just can't see the Lightning, though. If they're going to play like that on the road here, I can't see the Lightning playing 3 games up there and not getting at least 1. Yeah. I can't see that myself.
So that's what I'm saying. I think the Lightning can win up there. They've proven that.
Yeah.
And I don't think Carolina can win here. They can't win anywhere on the road.
The Lightning have a very good home ice advantage right now.
I mean, that just tells me that, and that place is bonkers. Raleigh is bonkers. Loud. It's really loud. They get a lot of energy to play defense. And then when they go on the road, they don't have as much energy. That's mental weakness. That's not something that the Lightning have an issue with.
In New York, now it's 2-2. I wasn't expecting New York to even up this series, to be honest. I thought they were dead in the water. Yeah. Shesterkin has turned his play around here in the last 2 games.
He stopped 72 of 74 shots in games 3 and 4.
They're kind of like the Lightning in that sense, where he's gonna steal them games.
Yep.
Because I think they have some firepower at front. I don't think they're as deep with that firepower like we are or Carolina is. They really need the goaltending to be right. But we've gone into New York before in playoff atmospheres and done just fine. I recall 2015 we did it. So the Lightning know what they're going to expect if they have to go into play in New York. It's another loud arena, obviously. But the Lightning, to your point, they're sitting around doing nothing. They're doing nothing but resting up.
Yeah, this is awesome. It's awesome for Tampa Bay, and they need the rest as well. So let's let that thing go 7. Well, it's going to go 7 because Canes can't win on the road.
So they're gonna win. They're gonna win tomorrow because it's at home. We go 3-2,
right?
And then we're gonna get a 3. Yeah. So we're probably not gonna start our series till next week.
Yeah, no question. So some much needed rest for the Bolts.
I did want to address this to you, by the way, since we're on the topic of NHL playoffs. We didn't get into it, but did you see the whole Nazem Kadri stuff?
Yeah.
With Colorado.
Yeah.
I just want to make a quick note on that. I mean, did you see the messages that his wife received? His wife.
I don't understand this.
I mean, it's relevant because of everything that's going on in the world today. Yeah. It's just another example of how just screwed up everything is. I mean, you want to say he's a dirty hockey player, whatever. Don't go after his religion. Call him, don't go after that. Don't message his wife, his family. Why do people take it so damn serious to that point, man?
Every time I hear one of these stories, though, it just, I'm not saying it's not true. It just, I don't know. I can't. Why do people do it? I don't get it. That's just
like
disgusting.
You're a tough guy because you go in somebody's DMs and call them. I mean, literally, some of the stuff that because I wrote this yesterday for Outkick, and I was reading through the messages, and I was like just flabbergasted at why people would send this stuff. Literally, like, where were you on 9/11? Go jump on a plane. You like why?
Again, every time I hear these things, every time we hear these things, it turns out to be fake.
It's not fake though.
I don't know. Do you know that? Do you know that? Do I know that?
It's not
fake. Well, yeah. Neither was Juicy Smollett.
I mean, did you see the? Okay, whatever.
I'm just saying. Somebody's getting kidnapped. Oh wait, who's involved? I mean, it's like
a very real thing that he's dealt with his entire life. I mean, look at the way
it's bullshit. Anybody who's doing that, you're a coward. You're an idiot. You're a racist. You're awful. You're terrible. And these people are sending these messages. Are they attached to Twitter handles?
Yeah, they have the handles. We have the handles, and of course they all go into hiding and they delete their account.
Well,
when it gets out there,
I'm sure they can find people when they want to. They sure can when they want to. Let's go find these people and let's bring them forward. That's wrong. We're suspended people for talking about elections and hydroxychloroquine, but these people can put anti-Islamic stuff on Twitter and threaten people, and that's okay. I mean, I don't know.
I just don't get it. I really don't. And I was actually kind of happy he scored a hat trick the night after.
Absolutely.
With middle fingers. Every picture that I looked at, the entire crowd, middle fingers. That's it. The entire time.
Look, you can hate a guy for being, hurting your goalie or doing that stuff, but it has nothing to do with his freaking religion or his heritage, for God's sakes.
No.
But of course we have to, I don't know. It's very, very disheartening when people do that. And then, again, in the media, half the time I don't even know if I can believe half this stuff. It's crazy. But that if there are people doing that, they need to be dealt with. It's crazy. Anyway, sorry, I got such a cough this morning. All right, let's hit a break. We'll come back and want to get into a little bit more sound from the Rays last night. We'll hear from Kevin Cash and some of the other principals. So stay with us. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Italiano Insurance has been serving and working in our community for over 60 years, and it's not just about insuring all the pieces of your life. Italiano is as much a part of Tampa Bay as the Cuban sandwich, Gasparilla, and our Bucs, Lightning, and Rays. They're also active supporters of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance, so do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. Don't call some 1-800 number. Call Italiano and be greeted by one of your neighbors. That's 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Named the Small Business of the Year by the Tampa Chamber. 813-877-7799. Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Brought to you by good folks at the Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Christopher Lugo and his team will take great care of you. He works with the military, keeps our top pilots in shape. He can do the same for you. If you're looking to lose weight, they've got great programs for that, cutting-edge techniques and therapies, also testosterone replacement therapy. Experts at that as well, as they take your blood work and very detailed in what they do and how they do it. And just your lifestyle in general. Want to make sure that your immune system is beefed up for the next pandemic or the next monkeypox or the next whatever that comes your way. It's a life or death situation now, folks. It's not just about looking good. It's about being healthy. And the folks at Bay Area Modern Medical Center have the latest techniques and philosophy to help you out. Everything is personalized. They're going to spend a lot of time with you, 45 minutes to an hour in your initial visit to find out what's going on, what your history is, and really dig down deep into what you need, not just a one-size-fits-all philosophy. So check them out at BAMMC.com, BAMMC.com. Make an appointment. They're accepting new patients, and please tell them JP sent you. All right, a couple other stories I want to get into. We talked a little bit about the Rays, and we'll hear from Kevin Cash a little bit later on. I wanted to get into this story of Deshaun Watson. And this is kind of the other shoe that has been waiting to drop. And I'm curious as to why it's happening now and hasn't happened before now. But HBO's Real Sports got a couple of the accusers together and did an interview. And the interview that I saw, this excerpt that I saw, was incredibly damning. We've been waiting to hear from some of these women, and none of them have come forward. It's been very odd. But they sat down with, I forget who I think maybe Lisa Salters, maybe, but somebody from HBO's Real Sports, and talked about what happened with Deshaun Watson in a very graphic way. It was disturbing. And you could see in this woman's face the issues. And they also played some of Deshaun Watson's audio in front of them when he was talking about his contract and talking about the accusations. And you could see them viscerally squirm and be very uncomfortable with the way the whole thing went down. Do we have any of that audio at all from the accuser?
I'm trying to feel the audio right now, but kind of going through the
Well, if we get it, fine. If not,
it was Brian Gumbel.
The Brian Gumbel, yeah. It does not look good on the NFL, and it does not look good on Deshaun Watson. And we knew eventually this would come out. There's something about video. There's something about looking into the eyes of these women, and you could see how distressed they are. And for the NFL to, not make this guy, the highest paid guaranteed dollar contract in history, it's got to be unsettling on so many levels. And it feels wrong. As much as I've always loved Deshaun Watson, and he's always been a man of extremely high character. We've never heard anything negative about this guy at all. Everything has been extremely positive. He's always been a great leader, a strong Christian man. It's just all of that. And that's why this has been one of the most unique cases. It's so out of character. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Obviously it does. It's a lot of different people, and a lot of people are not who we think they are in their public life. I get that. But, also innocent until proven guilty. And this makes him look very, very guilty.
I think with the whole situation at first, we didn't really have much to go off of. We had very loose information, and for like a whole year, we really got no update, right?
Exactly.
And I think everybody, obviously, we know the story of Deshaun Watson. If you've learned how he grew up and everything he had to go through, it's a very heartfelt story. A sad story, honestly, but it's also a story of a guy who got out of that and made a name for himself.
Very inspirational.
So that's why I think it's hard for people to connect that. But again, and it's very relevant today. I think everybody, you always hear, I would have never expected him to do this or her to do this. Everybody always says that after a tragedy or something bad happens. So I'm not going to be, again, it's not our place to put this man under the jail cell or to exonerate him, whatever. We're having to go off the facts that are coming forward, and the facts are there's more stuff coming to light that, it's out there. It's out there.
Yeah. All right, let's play this clip that
I'm working.
HBO put up.
Oops, sorry about that.
No, go right ahead.
Let me close that window, and here we go.
When Deshaun Watson arrived for his massage appointment, Ashley Solis says her excitement quickly turned to something else, a stark realization that Watson had come for more than just a massage. First, she says, Watson refused the towel she had provided to cover him, insisting on using what she describes as a tiny hand towel instead. Then, after the session began, she says Watson attempted to bare his naked body.
He ends up exposing himself, and I hurried up and covered him with the towel, and he said, you don't have to worry about the towel. And I said, yes, I do.
So then what happened?
He requested that I work on his abdomen, but the moment I went above his navel, he told me he didn't want me to work there. He wanted me to work lower. He just kept directing me to go lower and don't be scared. You can go in there, and I just started really freezing up at this point.
Can you explain that?
Like a wave just took over my body. I felt so hot. I was sweating. It was getting more and more clear that this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I thought the session was going to be.
And soon, Solis says, Watson's actions left no doubt.
As I'm working, he deliberately grabs himself and put his penis on my hand. And I pulled my hand away instantly, and I started crying. And I told him that I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore.
Well, if that woman's lying, she deserves an Emmy or an Academy Award, because that seemed pretty damn sincere. I don't know about you. Yeah. When I watch interviews, I think I can pick up on nonverbal clues as to whether they're lying or not. And that woman certainly feels like she's telling the truth to me.
Yeah, you can hear it in her voice, but I would encourage everybody to go watch it, because the body language is the more, I guess, important part here that you could get from this.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. We're starting to get more of the pieces to this come out, and it kind of makes you think, I don't know what the NFL, the whole hoopla on the NFL's protocols for stuff like this is, what the terminology is, but it makes you wonder how in the world that they had to have known there's other stuff out there, right?
Yeah.
They had to have known. And yet he could have played last year. He could have played last year if he really wanted to. If there wasn't his whole stuff going on with Houston, he could have played last year. No
He's
problem.
completely eligible.
He's completely eligible to play. And right now, it's like they're still pending an investigation. He was still allowed to become the highest paid, the most guaranteed contract in the history of the NFL went to Deshaun Watson amid all this.
Yeah.
It makes you question the Browns. First, I mean, obviously, being the ones to do it. Any team that was going to do it. I think you kind of understand now why when the Bucs were going after Deshaun Watson, we said from the beginning it'd be great to get him if this all blows over. But now I don't think we can look at it like that if it all blows over anymore.
No.
And we always knew that if the Bucs were going to do that, their entire reputation as an organization would have been.
So I always thought it was a non-starter for the Buccaneers, given their emphasis on
it would have been a slap in the face to every female they have on their coaching staff.
Yeah. And in their building. I mean, they have a large percentage of women running the team in a lot of key roles, including owner, by the way. So I never thought that was an option. But this is why is it taking so long for someone to come forward? Because now he's just getting close to being, given the right to play again. The NFL, I'm guessing, is getting ready to issue their punishment, and now this comes out. I mean, I'm guessing she's not going to be the only one to talk. Look, this whole situation from day one just did not make any sense. I mean, we've talked a little bit about this before, but typically NFL players will have a massage therapist that is arranged by the team. Okay. And even if they do it privately, like I know some players that have, private masseuses that they use all the time. They want the same ones because they know their body. They know their professionalism. They know where to work on, how to work on. I mean, having the same masseuse is very, it's like having the same trainer. It's like having the same quarterback and receiver. They get to know you. And your body and what you need and what you don't need. To skip around from therapist to therapist as an NFL player, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. Guys don't do that. And certainly the quarterback of a football team, an NFL football team, is not popping around from massage therapist to massage therapist going on Instagram to find them. If you're going on Instagram to find a massage therapist, let's just say that most of them are probably not, quote, massage therapists, but some of them are. Like this particular woman seems to be a very legitimate massage therapist that was in no mood for this, and certainly should not be subjected to this. And she certainly seems like the victim here that everybody kind of thought existed but never came forward. I don't understand how it takes 2 years for her to come forward and do an interview. I'm not dissing her at all. I'm looking more at the system. Like how does the NFL, has the NFL not talked to these women? The NFL has done this incredible exhaustive investigation, but I heard a few months ago that they hadn't even talked to some of the women yet. And now this HBO story is coming out, and this guy's going to be sitting on top of, going to be one of the faces of the NFL.
I mean, didn't Cleveland, when they signed him, they had to answer all those questions at that press conference? And didn't they not say they didn't speak to any of them either?
Yes.
We know how this is nothing new. We know how the NFL works. It's like if you're a world-class talent, they're going to look past every single blemish on your record to have you play a football game. And that's just the way it works.
Yeah.
It's not right, but it's the way it works.
All right. Well, that's Cleveland's problem now. And that's why this whole thing with Baker Mayfield, and everybody's like, why is Baker Mayfield, he's not going to come back in the building, blah, 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 blah. If I'm Baker Mayfield, I'm sorry. I shut my mouth. I say, listen, I think it's probably too far down the river at this point, but he would have been better served to just shut his mouth and go in there and say, I'm not, I'm going to compete for the job. I'm a member of this team, and I'm ready to work out. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go to OTAs. I'm ready to play.
He should be at OTAs right now.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people waste energy on the fact that, Aaron Rodgers is not at OTAs. I could care. Who cares? It's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's not at OTAs, by the way. I didn't even get to the breaking news today. He's not at OTAs. Expect the Mike Florio column to drop any second now.
But he was at the Yankees facility yesterday hitting baseballs.
Hit baseballs, and Gronk was in the outfield. What does that mean for Gronk's future?
I don't know. Wait a minute. They can play baseball together, but Gronk can't play football and go to OTAs.
See how fast he was running? He looks like he still has it to me.
Yeah.
Not injured.
By the way, I kind of like the way settled under the fly ball.
I was impressed too.
Very
I was trying
impressed,
to figure
yeah.
out how far was that. How far was that field back
I know
there?
exactly where that field. That's the.
I know the
yeah.
field, but I'm trying to figure out how the dimensions of it. Is that like a full size?
Yeah.
Oh, because
It's
Brady, because I was impressed by the first hit. He hit it. He one-hopped the wall in center.
So
it was impressive. He's 44 years old. I couldn't do that. Kidding me?
You can't. I could.
You can one hop the wall in a major league field.
Absolutely. I'm
No
100%.
shot.
Oh
No
my God. Are you
shot.
kidding me?
You swung the bat like 8 times in Wrigleyville. Nothing but rolled over grounders ashore. You pulled everything.
In a dark, dingy.
There you
Are you kidding me? You go out there on the field. You don't think I could one hop the wall?
No.
From a pitching machine?
No.
Oh, bro.
No.
Okay.
No.
That's a bet. That's a bet that's done. Well, we're doing that one. Yeah. No, I'm like, why is he not going yard? He's a finely tuned elite athlete, and he couldn't put one out of the yard. That's the best he has. He wasn't even warning track power.
He said it was the
for
first,
a guy that was drafted.
He said, and I quote, first time he swung a bat in a long effing time. So you got to give him some slack there. I mean, but
I was in a cage with Jason Romano, an actual batting cage, where I could see the ball, and he was pitching to me. This is like, I don't know, 2 years ago. I got a hold of a couple. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't think that's actually doing or saying much, to be honest with you, in batting practice to hit a ball that far. For Tom Brady? No. I wanted some balls to go out of the yard. Like the Lightning players a couple of years ago, was it Stamkos? Stamkos hit like 3 out.
He hit 3 out?
Yeah.
Remember Odell? Remember when Odell was like with the Rays and he was at Angel Stadium? Remember that? And he hit like 2 home runs in BP too. He was wearing a Devil Rays jersey.
Yeah.
Maybe these guys.
No, it wasn't just Stamkos. It was somebody else too that went yard. Yeah. And Brady's got a nice swing though. He's got a nice swing. Maybe he was just trying to be careful. He didn't want to pull an oblique.
Yeah. Well, anyway, he's not at OTAs. Not at OTAs. But my point with that is, if those guys are not at OTAs, I could care less, right? But of course, that's what all the talk shows are going to tell you: is it's a big deal they're not at OTAs.
It's not.
Baker Mayfield, on the other hand, I think you need to be there because there's no sign that you're getting traded right now.
No,
there's no sign, and
nobody wants it.
And all signs are pointing right now that you're going to be. Guess what? You're next man up. It's going to be full systems go. You're going to be the starter day one, unless it's going to go to Jacoby Brissett if you're not there. I don't know. But I think Baker Mayfield needs to take it under the chin and get to OTAs and go in with a positive attitude. And it's kind of ironic. The Browns said they wanted a grown-up at quarterback. Do with that what you will. I guess they got their grown-up if you want to. Yeah. I guess. I don't know. But in the point, though, is Baker Mayfield, you want to be a grown-up, I think he needs to get to OTAs right now.
I agree 100%. I would not just give away my career and just wait for – if you think some team is just going to, make him their starting quarterback, that ship is sailed, bro.
We are past everything. There is no quarterback. There's no team coming to get you right now.
And I don't think it's beyond the pale after this interview for the NFL to suspend him for the whole season. And then what's Cleveland going to do?
That's Cleveland's problem.
They're going to pay Baker Mayfield not to play for them when they don't have a quarterback? That seems kind of stupid. That's why the whole thing, the way it's been handled.
What is
Thank
this?
God Tom Brady came back.
What is this? Tom Brady's golfing now?
Yeah, he's got his match coming up. Oh, did you hear the shot from Josh Allen? What is that?
I did not. I have no idea. This is something Brady posted another reel, him being filmed while golfing. Let me see this shot. This is fake. I can already tell you right now.
Oh, that he got a hole in one?
There's no way. Look at the ball. This is fake. Yeah. Yeah.
What did Josh Allen say yesterday? They did some presser for the match, and I think Josh Allen basically said, "Well, once Brady runs out of the prepared comments from his team and has to actually ad lib his comments." Ooh, I was like, "Oh, damn, dog! That was that
curious.
was a nice shot right
I'm
there.
curious here. Brady just put his golf stuff online here.
Right. Selling his polos.
$75 for a plain polo.
Yeah. I don't get it. But you get the Brady logo on it, man.
You don't even get the logo. It doesn't. There's no logo. The tag that you can't see says Brady. Everything else is just a plain polo.
And it's $75?
$75. Look at these pants here. Hold up.
Like, there's nothing special about any of it.
$95 for these pants, which I will not wear in the state of Florida to play golf, by the way.
Yeah. No way.
Tom, what are you doing, man?
He's getting ready for his match, and he's not at OTAs. What a horrible, horrible player. What a bad teammate.
They treat his stuff like, have you ever been, you go to Nordstrom ever in International?
No.
I didn't think so.
I go to Nordstrom Rack.
Many a time I have been dragged to Nordstrom by who you could guess. And I sometimes make my way over to the men's section just to laugh at the prices.
Yeah.
Last time I went,
too.
Brady has his own section in Nordstrom, and they had those things around it where you can't go in there. You have to get like special permission to like get inside the little Brady section.
What?
Yeah.
You got to get special permission to go in
or
the
you got to
Brady
go like
section?
under the what are they called? I can't even think of
the
the name
velvet
of it.
rope?
Not the ropes, but like the
dividers?
The divider, yeah. They have them all the way. They had them all the way around the Brady stuff, and it's like you can't go in there.
What's the point of that?
I don't know.
Don't you need to go in there to look at the stuff?
I don't know. They treat it like it's like the most.
What, you got to
sacred
get a
thing
pass
ever.
to go in there?
I guess so, but they're selling. I could see the price tag. They're selling like plain V-necks for like $65 for crying out loud. And it says there's nothing that says Brady anywhere on it.
Yeah, I will never understand the need for people to buy things at exorbitant prices just because it has a tag or some type of logo on it. I never have understood that for the life of me.
You wouldn't
like you got like how vapid is your soul that you need to do that in order to give yourself some self-importance or and I'm not like I like, certain designers, except, but I mean, I'm talking about the exorbitant stuff, like people that are paying, $50,000 for a pair of Jordans. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Please.
I know some people say, oh, it's, it's an investment. It's like kind of get it on that level, but more than that, just like, the Louis Vuitton stuff, just
do you ever like
the red bottom shoes.
Like International Mall has all these like crazy, what do they call it, bougie stores, I guess.
Yeah.
And the Gucci line, for example, is always like wrapped around to like the Starbucks that's out there. And I'm just looking at all those people online. I'm like, why? First of all, you're not buying anything. You're going in there just to take a picture that you're in the Gucci store.
I guess. I never understood that. If that's your thing, that's fine. I don't get it. OTA practices today, voluntary, says Greg Auman. 5 players in attendance who weren't at last week's OTA: Donovan Smith, Shaq Barrett, Anthony Nelson, Devin White, and Russell Gage. Well, that's good. Those guys are there. He has a nice little video of who is this? Logan Hall working out. Nice quick get off for the guy. Big fella. Big fella. Wearing number 90 too.
Wearing number 90.
Yeah. Didn't that belong to somebody? Guess he ain't coming back.
No.
No, he's doing a bag drill and quick get off means 0. But you can see he's a big man and he's very athletic. You can see that. No question about that. So OTAs are going on. Todd Bowles is going to speak to the masses. All I can say is thank God Tom Brady came back. Thank God Tom Brady came back and we don't have to deal with the Deshaun Watson giving up 1,000 draft picks for Russell Wilson, any of that stuff.
And some of you people don't have to see Blaine Gabbert, even though y'all wanted it.
Speaking of backup quarterbacks, Kyle Trask has been making the rounds. I hear. Would you know anything about that?
Well, I'm not being a pot stir or anything, and I'm not even making a judgment. I'm just pointing out a fact that I have heard multiple people who going out is their thing, and they say they see Kyle Trask all the time, every weekend.
Good. Well, he's getting out there and
as of Saturday, I was
active in the community, unlike Tom Brady.
Oh, there you go. And I'm gonna sidestep that.
Being active at McNitton's.
And on Friday, after the wedding that I went to, we went out to Soho
Right.
And I heard all people that saw him in the corner there, and he was, on his vape pen, which is the thing nowadays.
You sit in the corner and you hit
He
your
just
vape
kind
pen?
of stands, and I heard he's big. Everybody says he's a big guy.
He
obviously.
is, yeah. I saw him at the Chase Club a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Taken in with some of his teammates. Nice kid.
Yeah.
Everybody loves him. Ain't nothing wrong with that. He's young man. He's a young man. He's going out. It's off season, for God's sakes.
Is it off season, really?
It is off season. It's off season for him. He ain't ever going to play.
I'm not casting.
He ain't playing this year.
Listen, I'm not stirring any pot. I'm making an observation. It's relevant. It's a Bucs player that was out and about in the community.
No, I get it.
But I was just, my friends and I were kind of conversing back and forth, and we were saying, what Tom Brady think right now?
I would think he's a young. He'd think Trask is a young kid.
Tom Brady would ever be at Soho Saloon?
Maybe when he was a young backup. Maybe he's the backup to the backup, for God's sakes.
Hold up.
I mean, at this point of his career, if he were the starting quarterback and he was hanging out, at McDinton's vaping in the corner, we'd have an issue. But this guy is like, he's like 25,000 miles away from being the starting quarterback here.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure if he were in the mix and even one snap away, that things would be taken a little bit more seriously. I'm not going to worry too much about it at this point.
I'm not either, but I'm more poking fun at the fact that if Colin Coward, I'm on his feed right now, because if Colin Coward got a hold of this, that's the kind of thing where he would say he's off my board or something like that. But there was a photo. Hold on. I'm trying to find it. I was dying laughing because Colin Coward cannot stand backwards hat guys.
Right.
He's like, backward hats guys equal like backseat of the car guys or whatever.
Backseat of the car guys?
That's kind of like the correlation. Here it is right here. Zach Wilson's at a Mets game wearing a backwards hat in the front row, and Colin Coward just says troubling at New York Jets.
Troubling
for
a young man to wear his hat backwards is troubling.
The backwards hat.
Come on, you got to get up with society a little bit. I think that's why Brady has worn his hat backwards many times.
I know nobody says anything. Nobody says anything.
I think he does that just to piss off Colin, just to f that whole narrative up. No, I don't have a huge problem with him doing that.
I don't either.
No,
I kid.
But it is, people are talking about it. There's no doubt about it. They're talking about it. And if he's getting slobbering, which we're not saying this, but if he's getting stupid drunk, locally and doing stupid stuff, then you're going to question the guy's maturity level.
No, by all accounts of what I've heard, he just stands in the corner and he's just doing his thing.
Just chilling. Yeah. Yeah, we don't have an issue with that yet. No problem. But it is funny that certain guys go out and about and are celebrated for it, and it's kind of weird in society though. But I don't think there's nothing in Trask's history that suggests
no.
he's got any bad character traits or anything. In fact, it's exceptionally the other way. So we're not worried about it just yet. Do we need to hit another break?
We do not.
Good. Okay. Other stuff that so we mentioned some of the folks that are out there at OTAs. Next week, I believe, or 2 weeks, we have the mandatory one, which will be after the match that Brady will be playing in. Which, by the way, I'm looking forward to much more than last year's match. I like the idea of the two quarterbacks, the old guys and the young guys, going at it. That I think is going to be more fun than having the pro golfers.
Well, I mean, they probably had to do it because Phil's kind of MIA right now.
Yeah,
I don't think Phil's going to be playing
yeah.
any matches where he's.
Yeah, we don't need it. We don't need him mic'd up.
I don't
right
think that's going to be happening.
No, I don't think we need him mic'd up. All right, what else do we need to get to today? Do we care at all about Dickie V? By the way, posted this last night. I think I could find it because I retweeted it, and I couldn't agree more. I mean, did you watch any of that the basketball game last night?
No.
Dallas was just, it's a blowout of the Warriors. The Miami Celtics series has had 4 lead changes in the entire series. 4 lead changes. Every one of the games have been a blowout the other way. And I'm asking myself, what the hell's going on in the NBA? And it's where's the competitiveness? Where's the competitiveness in these NBA playoffs? I mean, it's because the team gets out to a lead. And I know Golden State kind of came back. The backups came back and made it a game late in the game. But where is it?
Listen to this stat right here. This right here sums it all up. The last 17 playoff games, there's been 5 where it's been 10 points or less was the difference.
Good God.
Average margin of victory, 19.8 points. 7 clutch time minutes. That's it. 7 minutes. In
That's
17
awful.
playoff games.
That's it?
That's it.
That's zero drama.
There is no drama. It's like literally how it goes now. It's like you just get out to a huge first quarter lead and then it's over. Like it's over. And there's been some cases where teams are coming back. A lot of teams have blown leads more so in the first round than others. But lately, like these conference finals have been
awful.
I mean, awful.
Awful.
Really bad.
Dick V writes, look, the NBA features the greatest athletes, but I'm curious as I admit that I'm reaching the point of boredom watching NBA PTP are firing up 53s per game in many cases. Where's cutting, the ball movement, etc.? For me, it's not fun to watch. Do you agree or disagree? At ESPN PR. Totally agree. I mean, I love watching the Warriors, but like when you're just, they gave that game away last night. And then, they call it the gentleman sweep where you allow the other team to win one in their yard and you go back and you get another gate for your owner and you destroy, and they're going to destroy Dallas in game 5. It's not even going to be close. It'll be another boring game. And because they'll decide to play defense. And it's kind of ridiculous.
It's like I say all the time. It's hard to watch like the NHL playoffs, for example, and the excitement, and then turn on the NBA.
Yeah,
it just is.
Oh my God, it's like night and day. I mean, that Calgary game last night, the atmosphere at Calgary Edmonton game last night was just insane.
Yeah,
I mean, it was crazy. At the people outside, the people inside, the fan involvement. It was like that at Emily Arena the other night. I mean, I just can't imagine a better sporting event to attend and be part of or watch on TV. I mean, how does the NHL not get 10 times the ratings that the NBA does? I don't get it.
I don't know. And for what I've heard, I think like MLS soccer kind of pushes the NHL in ratings too.
I can't believe
and
that.
It's so hard to believe. I don't know why it hasn't caught on. They say they don't market their stars, and that's a fair assessment. A lot of people have no idea who Connor McDavid is in this country. They have no idea who he is. And that's a fair critique, but that's because hockey, I think, is more like you listen to the commercial, they advertise it. It's always like we. It's never me, And like, I'm not saying the NBA is like all about that, but like the NBA definitely is a star-driven league. Like the stars bring in the revenue, and the NHL, it's all about the teams, the game, the Stanley Cup. Like it's always about what's the first thing they point out? It's like the camaraderie that you get in the locker rooms all the time, and the whole fight, the journey together. You don't get that kind of terminology in the NBA usually. You just need a star to kind of take over.
Yeah.
So it's just a little different there.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's not even from a product of just watching the games and the excitement level.
I don't see how they're comparable. I really don't. And in person?
Oh my God.
Hockey's one of the few sports you go in person. I think it's like still 10 times better.
I'll never forget the last NBA game I went to was when Toronto was playing here. And the Warriors came to town, and Seth Curry warmed up and was fine, and then just decided to sit out the game. And it was just, and the Warriors were down like 50 points, 50, 60 points in the third quarter. Yeah. Like they literally did not even try. They showed up to Tampa and just literally sat there on the bench. Steve Kerr, threw out some crappy lineup, and everybody who paid to see that game should have gotten a full refund. It was a joke. They did not give a rat's ass whether they were putting on a show or not. It was the worst display of professional sports I'd ever seen. And it's, to me, that's just generally what the NBA regular season is. I mean, it was awful. It was awful. And then you watch it, and this is supposed to be the pinnacle of your sport. Yeah, I don't know.
The ratings are through the roof, though. I think they have higher ratings than they had in the past few years. So
for what? The NBA?
The NBA playoffs, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. You're watching
it? Do you know anybody who's watching it?
I mean, the Panthers fans were sitting on their ass watching it on their phone the entire Lightning series. So
pretty much,
there's 20,000 people right there for you.
Pretty much, yeah. I don't get it. All right, recapping some of the other stories. The Lightning taking off, obviously, until we get the end of this Rangers-Canes series. Who do you want to play? I don't know. With Shesterkin playing the way he is, at this point, I'm going to say the Canes. And the Canes can't win away from Raleigh. So I kind of felt like the Rangers, but now I'm kind of – actually, it really doesn't matter to me. I think the Lightning are just going to pretty much dictate whoever they play, what happens. If they go out and play the way we know they can play and at the level we expect them to play, I don't fear either one of those teams, no doubt about it. Gronk is trending today. I guess that's just for the baseball thing yesterday. He's coming back, folks. Don't worry about that. And Braun DeFranco, we're not sure if he's in the lineup tonight. 0 for 4 yesterday. In the middle of a, what is it now? 2 for 39 slump. And he says it's partially to blame the turf at Tropicana Field that's messing up his legs. What are we going to do about that? How about a new stadium? Might take a while. And Rob Manfred came to town and didn't even visit with Stu Sternberg, reportedly, or the people of Tampa, the leaders in Tampa, about the new stadium. What a complete lack of leadership on his part. All right, we thank Chris Torello, who joined us today. He's heading off to Habitat of Humanity from Spectrum Sports 360. We wish you the best, Chris, but he's not going anywhere. Still be in our community, and that's good stuff. Great job, Nikki Numbers. Go Rays tonight. The Yankees coming in this weekend. That's going to be fun as well. We'll be back tomorrow with more fun and frivolity. God bless you.